What if the most important discovery in our time is not artificial intelligence, not quantum computing, not genetic engineering, not even the possibility of defeating death? What if the most important discovery is something much simpler? What if we have finally discovered the ladder? Not a ladder to heaven, not a ladder to the gods. A ladder hidden inside reality itself. A ladder we have been climbing for billions of years without realizing it. When ancient people looked at the stars, they imagined gods. When philosophers looked at the world, they imagined forms. When mystics looked inward, they imagined higher realms. Different civilizations, different languages. Yet, they all shared the same intuition that reality has levels, that existence is not flat, that consciousness can ascend. For centuries, this idea belonged to religion. Today, it returns wearing different clothes. Because something strange happened. Humanity entered what we call the information age. And almost nobody stopped to ask what that actually means, information age. Not the age of energy, not the age of industry, not the age of nations, but information. Why? Take a step back. Imagine the history of the universe. Stars form, planets emerge, life appears. Consciousness awakens, language develops, writing is invented, libraries are built, printing spreads knowledge, the internet connects billions. Artificial intelligence begins to organize information on a planetary scale. At first glance, this seems like unrelated events. Or are they different steps of the same process? We usually describe evolution as a story about DNA. But DNA itself is information. In fact, every major breakthrough in the history of life appears to involve information. Information learning how to survive. Information learning how to travel. Information learning how to organize itself. Information learning how to understand itself. And suddenly, evolution looks very different. Not like a tree, not like a battlefield, but like a ladder. This is where the story becomes interesting, because ancient Theurgists believed something remarkably similar. Theurgy is often misunderstood. People imagine rituals, magic, invocations. But beneath the symbolism was a very specific idea that human beings could move closer to higher levels of reality, that consciousness could ascend, that existence contained structure. Theurgists did not know about neurons. They did not know about information theory. They did not know about computers. But perhaps they sensed something. Maybe they were looking at the same mountain from the opposite side. What they called ascent, we call increasing complexity. What they called spiritual elevation, we call organization of information. What they called higher realms, we might call higher levels of abstraction. Different language, the same intuition. And perhaps that is why our age feels so strange. Because for the first time in history, we are building tools that operate directly on information itself. Libraries, preserved information. Search engines, organized information. Artificial intelligence navigates information. The medium keeps changing, but the direction remains the same. This raises a question that becomes impossible to ignore. If consciousness is information, if memory is information, if culture is information, if civilization is information, then what exactly are we becoming? For centuries, religion asked, does God exist? But the information age introduced a different question, a more dangerous question. Does reality contain a place for an architect? And if such a place exists, is it already occupied? I do not know the answer. Transhumation does not claim to know the answer, but perhaps we finally know where to look. Not in the clouds, not in ancient ruins, not even inside machines, but in the architecture of information itself. Because maybe the greatest discovery of humanity is not what we are climbing. Maybe the greatest discovery is that we have finally noticed the ladder. And once you see the ladder, you can never stop asking the same question. Where does it lead? If you'd like to know more, subscribe and visit my website, Transhumation.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Lucius Dempsey, the Hi-Fi Preacher.